Caroline moves away as quickly as she can, the inert child clutched to her bosom. When she gets past Garibaldi Bridge, she puts him down. He's left a trail of snot down the front of her coat.
I'm sorry. I'm taking you home with me.
A label is sticking out from his coat collar.
Daniele Levi.
She takes the end of the label in her teeth and rips it free.
And you can hear that episode of the serial again tonight here on Radio 4 at about 7:45, and part 2 is with Emma on Women's Hour tomorrow. She'll be discussing Mary Wollstonecraft with the journalist B. Rowlett, and the writer Diana Jeffries is going to be here. The Tea Planter's Wife recently hit the #1 slot in the paperback fiction chart, but if you haven't heard of Diana, well, it's not surprising really. She's quite new to writing. She wrote her first novel at the age of 60, and she doesn't have a whole load of unpublished novels sitting in a bottom drawer. So she's going to be talking to Emma on the programme tomorrow. That should be interesting. Now, some legal advice after our earlier conversation with the MP Caroline Lucas about mothers' names on marriage certificates in England and Wales. The law isn't simple here, as you might expect. So I do urge anyone to speak to the registrar or whoever is officiating at their marriage in England and Wales if they are thinking of adding their mother's names to the certificate. That's either the bride's mum's name or indeed the bridegroom's mother's names. Don't do anything until you've had official advice. We don't want to invalidate anybody's marriage. Last thing we want to do. Thank you very much for listening. Have a very good day.
Woman's Hour was presented by Jane Garvey and was produced by Anne Peacock. And this lunchtime, our epic drama series set in Great War Britain 100 years ago features the death of Edith Cavell, who was shot by a German firing squad on this day in 1915. That's Homefront after the midday news here on Radio 4.
Say her name, Apollo. Say it out loud. Say my wife's name. Break the air. Go on.
Eurydice. Powerful and evocative words.
To Beverly and Wilfreda Clay, a son. Why did he say son? To spite his wife, my mother? Or was it some perverse wish that I wasn't, in fact, a girl? That he didn't want to have a daughter? Was that why he tried to kill me later?
Download amazing stories from BBC Radio 4 and take them with you. 4 stories on the iPlayer Radio app.
News at 11 o'clock. The Turkish Prime Minister Ahmet Davutoglu has said the suicide bombings at a peace rally in Ankara on Saturday were an attempt to influence the general election. Mr. Davutoglu told Turkish television the poll would go ahead regardless in 3 weeks' time. Officials now say 97 people were killed, but activists put the figure much higher. Many accuse the authorities of colluding with nationalists. The government says investigations are focused on the Islamic State group. Some of the UK's most senior former judges have criticised the government's response to the migrant crisis, saying refugees with a right to protection are being driven into the hands of people smugglers. They say resettling 20,000 Syrians over the next 5 years is inadequate. Doctors in Britain and Sweden are to inject fetal stem cells into babies still in the womb in the first clinical trial of its kind. It's hoped the cells, which can transform into a range of tissues, will lessen symptoms of incurable brittle bone disease. Lynn Chitty is from Great Ormond Street Hospital in London, where some of the research is being carried out.
The problem with these babies is that the collagen doesn't form very well, so it's the sort of the scaffolding of the bones which doesn't form very well, and these stem cells can help develop the scaffolding and make that more secure.
Official figures show that the proportion of workers outside London being paid less than the living wage of £7.85 is increasing. In 2012 and 2014, the percentage rose from 21 to 23%. In London, where the living wage is £9.15, it more than trebled to 19%. 2 men have died in a crash involving 2 vehicles on the M1 motorway. The accident happened near Kegworth in Leicestershire. Police are investigating reports that a car had been travelling the wrong way down the southbound carriageway. The Camel Laird shipyard in Birkenhead has been named as a preferred bidder to build the £200 million polar research vessel for the AutoGuard yard says the contract will secure existing jobs and create new ones. BBC News.
Sue Perkins is here in half an hour with the panel show that has no right answers, just deeply damning ones. Dilemma at 11:30. But first we go in search of Great Uncle Frank. The actor and comedian Hugh Dennis takes a personal journey to find out what happened to his great uncle during the First World War. Private Frank Hinnels was one of 500,000 Allied soldiers sent to Turkey in 1915 to take on the mighty Ottoman Empire at Gallipoli. 25,000 British soldiers lost their lives there. Hugh's quest begins at home.
So on next Friday, I'm going out to Gallipoli. She's very close to I'm going out to Gallipoli to kind of find out, really, just sort of follow in the footsteps of Frank. So who was your uncle? He died, he dies on the 17th of October 1950.
Well, this is a picture of Frank. I think he dusted his head and shoulders, of course. I think that he was a very tall young man, very strong. I think he had fair hair, the sort of complexion that went with it.
And do we know what he was like, Bob? Do we know what Frank's character was?
Well, I think one picked up that he was quite easygoing and full of fun. Yes, possibly. Sort of good for anything.
He looks like he was, doesn't he? He's got a very sort of, it's like sort of cheeky face.
Yes.
You've never met him, obviously.
No, I never met him. That's right, but I was very aware of him. But I certainly felt that he was a member of the same family that I belonged to. It was quite important.
But how old was he when he died?
Well, he would have been 18, wouldn't he? He was certainly on the verge of adulthood, and he was training as a carpenter. I remember hearing that he'd already learned to do sash windows.
So was he talked about in your home when you were a child?
Well, not at all, really, because he wasn't talked about. My father hardly ever mentioned him.
Because it was too painful?
I expect it, because it was too painful. And my father never really said how he felt about it, his brother's death, or much about his brother at all, until the last year of his life, when he was suffering from Parkinson's disease and from dementia. And then, in that last year, he actually used to see Frank coming and sitting in the sitting room with him, and he talked away to him a great deal, apparently. But before that, he was all under clamps. It's very interesting, Hugh, that you actually are going back to Gallipoli, where all this happened so very long ago. And I wonder what drives you to do it, what particular interests takes you there.
Well, I've always sort of known that who you are is a sort of an amalgam of lots of different people.
Yes, indeed.
You know, I've always been interested in history and stuff. I do slightly worry it's because I'm becoming middle-aged and I'm joining the great kind of British drive towards genealogy. You know, which is it's like cycling for a middle-aged man. It's the same sort of thing. You have to go and work out who your family are. So that does alarm me slightly, but I just think it would be really interesting. Because the whole Gallipoli campaign was really just a tremendous mistake, a tremendously wasteful loss of life. 25,000 British soldiers killed. And for what? It was supposed to be this great push that would kick Ottoman Turkey out of the First World War. And it was Winston Churchill's idea. It was a mistake, and for that he got sacked as the First Lord of the Advent. But in Turkish eyes, it's a completely different story. The Turks lost more men than anyone else. But Gallipoli gave them a new leader, and eventually it gave them a new country, because Mustafa Kemal, who I called him as a child, not now, Mustafa Kemal was their military commander. He beat us. And after the Ottoman Empire finally collapsed, he became the founder of the new Republic of Turkey and became known as Ataturk, which means father of the nation.